Hello. Check 1, 2. Good evening. This is VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, VK3 EKH, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, with the regular Friday night broadcast coming to you from the studios of VK3 CSJ in Narre Warren South. Very pleasant good evening to everybody listening at this 1st of December 2023. I think the first thing I might mention tonight is that the Aurora Australis is really happening at the moment. I'm just going to bring up the latest image to kick off. So those watching the YouTube feed and or RTV, that's the laytest auroral activity over the Antarctica, and it's extended right out to Tassie and the mainland. So if it wasn't for the current cloud cover around the place, there could very well be some very interesting aurora to look at down at the coast. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see that happening right now. Anyway, good evening to everybody, and we're broadcasting on the prime frequency of 3541 kilohertz. This week the linear is working. I had the ins and outs asked about. I don't know why that happened. Well, I know I was trying to isolate some hum problem, and I was disconnecting everything, and in my haste to reconnect the RF side of the chain, I put them in the wrong way around, so everything was reading wrong. So I have it all hooked up at the moment nicely, and we should be running our full 400 watts into our inverted dipole. We're also broadcasting on the Melbourne television repeater in full HT, VK3 RTV, digital channel 1. Very pleasant good evening to viewers there, and also on our YouTube channel. And we have a email address, vk3ekh@gmail.com, vk3ekh@gmail.com for any signal reports and the like. And I hope the audio level on YouTube isn't too much. I can see it's the level is just up there a bit, so somebody might like to let me know if the level on YouTube is just a bit too much, because it is clipping into the red. All right. We also have a Discord channel and a Discord connection. So if you go to or type in Discord in your favorite search engine and type in astronomy chat room, I think that'll find it. I think that works. It is it? Okay, cool. So I shall knock it down in the vMix, since that's where it's all happening. Where are we? Just get the audio level right there. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. I think that's a little better. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. A very, very pleasant good evening to Richard, VK3 VRS, Martin, VK7JH, Steve, VK3 SBX, and Martin, VK. Okay. And Bill, VK3 KHT, who's just popped up on Discord, who would be watching the TV as well. And of course the Wayne Factor is up there too. G'day Wayne. Big large signal on 80, excellent audio, fine. YouTube stream, good. Thank you, Wayne. All good. All right, it's going to be a lovely quick broadcast tonight. But I say that every Friday, so incidentally, my modem, Telstra modem, fell over midweek. So I've reinstated an old Telstra modem. Everything seems to be working okay except for my weather station. I've lost the upload for the weather station details, which includes my air quality sensor. So if anybody out there who's been monitoring my Davis weather station over these several months and not seeing any data, that's why. So I've got to suss out the reason for that over the weekend. Okay, the Astronomical Society of Victoria was founded in 1922 and has well over 1,600 members scattered about the place. Membership of the Society is open to all persons with an interest in astronomy. The Society's objectives are to encourage the study and practice of astronomy and to disseminate the knowledge of the science and to provide greater facilities for the study among its members. Monthly meetings are usually held on the second Wednesday of each month, except in January, where the monthly meeting is held on a Saturday night. Meetings usually kick off at 8 p.m. right on the noggin and aim to finish at 10 o'clock. They're usually done at the Mullior Hall, National Herbarium in Melbourne, at Burwood Avenue, Melbourne, not too far from the Shrine of Remembrance. The monthly meetings these days are also streamed to YouTube, the ASV YouTube channel. Parking is available in Burwood Avenue, Dellisbrooks Drive and the surrounding streets. Admission is free and visitors are most welcome. The evening usually finishes with free cups of tea and coffee and some bickies as well. At least last time I was there they were free. Privileges of membership include the right to borrow books, periodicals and other publications from the Society's extensive library located at the Melbourne Observatory, receipt of the ASV magazine Crux containing articles, news, observing notes and the like, and the free provision of the Astronomical Yearbook. Access is available to telescopes on members' nights held regularly at the Melbourne Observatory and after the monthly meetings, weather permitting. These instruments include the Society's 300mm equatorial reflector and a 300mm portable reflector. There's also a 200mm refractor managed by the Royal Botanic Gardens and a photoheliograph are also housed at the observatory. I must try and dig up some history on that photoheliograph. So instead of just saying recently restored photoheliograph, I think that deserves a little bit of history on that. Be interesting to find out some history on that heliograph. Also housed at the observatory are accessible as well. Yes, the Society also has a number of 200mm reflectors available for short period loan. The ASV has a loan scheme. So if you remember, you can borrow a Newtonian type telescope, Dobson, on a Dobson mount, and for anything up to 6 months or more. I think they're 8-inch mirrors, most of those telescopes, I think. Members are also encouraged to make use of the Society's country property located near Heathcote, some 90 minutes drive north of Melbourne. There are a range of instruments available for telescope for members to use, with the larger tube with appropriate training. With these range from 300mm to 1000mm in aperture. Also located on the site is a fully steerable 8.5 metre radio telescope, a Kennedy dish, which members can access with involvement with the radio astronomy section. And a very pleasant good evening to any of the guys that might be listening tonight. Members are encouraged to make and use telescopes. Advice and help on both matters are provided willingly to newcomers desiring to do the same. And but there are this ASV page, there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, no, hang on. Just counting how many sections there are. I'm sure there's 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Am I missing some there? I'm sure there were more than 20 sections now. Oh well, something's changed. Anyway, so as I was about to say, instrument making is only one of the number of common interest activities catered for within the society. There are a multitude of sections. You've got in alphabetical order, astrophotography, club section, comet and meteor section, computing section, cosmology and astrophysics, deep sky, historical section, instrument making, juniors, lunar and planetary, new astronomers group, radio astronomy, solar astronomy, space exploration, and a relatively new section called women in the ASV. I know there is one section missing here. It's the diurnals, which used to meet on a Tuesday morning. Pat Larkin was the section director, but since Pat moved on, nobody's taken up the diurnal section, so they've obviously removed that for the time being. And I think there's something else that's changed in there too. I'm not sure what. But anyway, if any of those sections sound of interest to you, by all means go to the ASV website at www.asv.org.au, look under the sections tab, and each one of those sections there has its own individual page with contact details for the section director. So you'll be able to email the section director and find out whether you can pop in on a visit to see whether it's something that sounds of interest to you, and discuss becoming a member and all that sort of thing. We can follow. So section directors, yes. Further information may be obtained by visiting the ASV website, and notification of events are given in the Crux Extra Bulletins, which is a little email newsletter that comes out every couple of weeks to keep members abreast of what's happening within the society and recent events. Please note that the ASV will conform to all government and health directives. ASV events may be required to be cancelled, moved or postponed. If you wish, you can write to the ASV, write to the Secretary, Astronomical Society of Victoria, GPO Box 1059, Melbourne, Victoria 3001, if you wish to write a letter. Who writes letters anymore, I wonder? Anyway, g'day, Cassiopeia has joined in. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Because it is the first of the month, or the beginning of the month, we have Sky Notes from Tanya Hill at the planetarium. She's been busy with her Sky Notes, and it starts off by talking about the summer solstice, and there's a graphic for that. So I shall just bring up that. And where's my insert? I know, there we are. There's me up in that corner. Is that blocking too much information? That could be blocking too much information. I might just get rid of that for the moment. No, not that one. That one, yep, alright. Okay, summer solstice. Earth will have its solstices on Thursday the 22nd, summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, and the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. From the Latin meaning the standing still of the sun. This is when the path and the position of the sun in the sky reaches its furthest extremes. It seems to pause before beginning its 6-month reverse to the time of the next solstice. At the summer solstice, the sun will rise and set at its most southerly points on the horizon, With the Earth's axis tilted at 23.5 degrees, the southern hemisphere will be leaning towards the sun. Its rays will be almost perpendicular, giving maximum heat to oceans and the ground. The sun's path will be the highest and longest of the year, and daylight hours will be therefore be the greatest. The opposite conditions of winter will apply in the northern hemisphere, where that hemisphere will be leaning away from the sun. Sunlight will be at shallow angle, giving the least warmth. The sun's path will be low and short, and daylight hours will be the shortest of the year. If you could visit the Bureau of Meteorology for more information on the solstices and equinoxes. And also Geoscience Australia has information on summer and winter solstices as well. There's two links on that homepage, the page for Sky Notes there. All right, let me just bring up my camera there. Now, for sunrise and sunset times for this coming month, Friday, the 1st of December, today, the sun rose at 5:52 a.m. and set at 8:26 p.m. A day length of 14 hours and 34 minutes. On Monday the 11th, it'll rise at 5:51 a.m., setting at 8:35, 14.43 hours. On Thursday the 22nd of December, it'll rise at 5:54 a.m., setting at 8:41 p.m., 14 hours and 47 minutes. And by the end of the month, Sunday the 31st, the sun will rise at 6 a.m. and set at 8:45 p.m. with a day length of 14 hours and 44 minutes. The moon. There's a third quarter phase on Tuesday the 5th. There's a new moon on Wednesday the 13th. There's a first quarter phase on Wednesday the 20th. And a full moon on Wednesday the 27th. Moon distances. On the 7th of December, Tuesday the 7th, there is a lunar apogee furthest from the Earth at 404,346 kilometres. And on Sunday the 17th, the moon will be at lunar perigee, closest to the Earth, at 367,901 kilometres. You could almost throw a stone. Now, let's see what's happening with the planets this month. Mercury is too near the Sun to be seen from Melbourne this month. Venus is bright as the morning star. Good morning, starshine. I always think that. As soon as I read Morning Star, I think of Oliver, Good Morning Starshine. It's one of my favourites. Yes, so where was I? Morning star rising in the east around 3:30 a.m. before fading in the early dawn light. Mars has completed its pass behind the Sun, its solar conjunction, when it was co-joined with the Sun from our view on Earth. It will still be too close to the Sun to be seen this month, but the red planet will reappear as a visible object next month. Jupiter, however, continues as an easily seen planet from 9 p.m. in the north. It will move across the northern sky and set in the west by 2:30 a.m. And Saturn, a faint and yellowish looking object, can be seen for part of the night this month in the west from 9:30 p.m, setting by 1 a.m. Meteors. The Geminids run from the 4th to the 17th of the month, this month. The Geminids run from the 4th to the 17th, peaking on the night of the 13th and the 14th, and appear in Gemini, the constellation Gemini in the northeast. Most meteor showers result from Earth intersecting particles shed by comets along with their orbits around the Sun. However, the Geminids are connected with the asteroid Pantheon. I think that's how you pronounce that. Pantheon. In good viewing conditions, up to 120 meteors per hour can be seen. Pantheon. I don't know. Anyway, Geminids. So it peaks 13th and the 14th. So for those, what do you call them? It's meteor scatter, folks. That's the time. Okay, stars and constellations. In the east, if you're sitting in your chair and you look towards the east, summer offers a rich selection of features to enjoy from northeast to southeast. Some constellations used by astronomers appear upside down in the southern hemisphere. Travelling from one hemisphere to the other will change the orientation of a star pattern as the viewing angle inverts the star pattern, which will be the case for the moon as well. Sirius, the principal star in the constellation of Canis Major, the greater dog, sits directly east in the evening skies. To the left is Orion the Hunter, with 3 bright stars forming a line as his belt. In our southern upside view, this 2 shoulders are Bellatrix at lower left and the red giant star Betelgeuse at lower right. His 2 feet are marked by Regal and upper left by Sapphire upper right. Siph upper right, name of the star. Well known to many is the local asterism, the saucepan, and being right way up is base. Its base is Orion's belt, and its handle forms the hunter's scabbard. If you turn to the north, you've got Taurus the bull, which is my star sign. Taurus the bull can be seen by finding the red star or red giant star Aldebaran, which marks its red eye, which I think I've got right now, and is one corner of an inverted V antenna, which forms the bull's head. At 65 testing. At 65 light years away, Aldebaran is closer to us than other stars that are at 150 light years and form an open cluster known as Hades, which we can see in this image. So in Taurus, the red giant Aldebaran, which is in the upper left in the image, lies in front of the more distant Hades star cluster in the background. To the left of Aldebaran is the beautiful Pleiades star cluster, or Seven Sisters. In many widely separated cultures, this open cluster, which is this object, this one here, in many widely separated cultures, this open cluster often represents a group of women, sometimes connected to the figure of a man seen in Orion. Such imaginations we have. So Taurus is in the Pleiades, a cluster of young blue stars 440 light years away. A small number of very bright stars can be seen with an unaided eye in the cluster of over 1,000 stars. So, if we now turn to the west in our celestial chair, in the west, in the southwest sits Sagittarius. Low in the west is Capricornus, the sea goat, and higher up is bright Fomalhaut. The principal star is Pisces Austrinus, or the southern fish. If we turn to the south, and there's an image or graphic for the south here too. If we turn to the south, low in the south and upside down at this time of the year is Crux, Southern Cross, with the pointers Alpha and Beta Centauri to its right, guiding the eye to the crux. Our galaxy's two small neighbouring galaxies, the large and small Magellanic Clouds, sit high in the south. Behind the Southern Cross and stretching from south to north is the Milky Way's densest arc of stars, containing large interstellar dust clouds that block our visible light view of more distant stars. Famous among them is the Coal Sack that sits beside the Southern Cross. So yes, the Coal Sack. And the International Space Station orbits Earth every 90 minutes at an average distance of 400 kilometres above the Earth, appearing like a bright star when it moves across the sky. And here are two of the brightest passes this month. On Saturday, the 9th of December, there's a passing at 10:26 p.m. coming in from the northwest at 10:26 p.m. to 10:33 p.m. to the southeast. And then on Sunday, there's a passing at 9:38, starting at 9:38 p.m. to 9:44 p.m. coming in from the northwest to the east-southeast. But if you go to heavensabove.com, you'll be able to ascertain multiple passings and other things. Morning and evening. That was evening. There's some more passes here actually. Morning and evening. On Tuesday the 12th, there's a passing at 4:55 to 5:02 a.m. southwest to the northeast, and a passing at 9:36 p.m. to 9:43 p.m. coming in from the west-northwest to the southeast. I almost missed that. Like I say, heavensabove.com gives predictions for visible passes of space stations and major satellites, live sky views and 3D visualizations. Be sure to enter your location under the configuration so you get more accurate readings. Thanks, Steve. Just reading your email there. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel. Now, I'll read out just some of these dates. There's a handful of dates that she's supplied for December, but I'll just read out the first few before continuing on. On the 1st of December 1922, solutions to Einstein's equations for space, time and mass energy are developed by Alexander Friedmann. 1922. On the 2nd of December 1915, Einstein's general relativity is published on gravity acceleration equivalence and space-time curvature. Also on the 2nd of December 1971, Mars 3 USSR, first soft landing and return of data from Mars. On the 3rd of December 2014, JAXA, JAXA, Explorer JAXA Explorer and Hayabusa 2, Japan, is launched to asteroid Ryugu with a planned sample return to Earth. Also on the 3rd of December 1973, Pioneer 10 makes the first flyby of Jupiter and returns the first close-up images of the planet. On the 7th of December 1676, Danish astronomer Ole Riemer calculates first accurate speed of light by observing eclipses of the moon Io by Jupiter. 7th of December 1676, Danish astronomer Ole Riemer, R-E-M-E-R, calculates first accurate speed of light by observing eclipses of the moon Io by Jupiter. Isn't that interesting? Didn't know that. Also on the 7th of December, it's actually written here, from the 7th to the 19th, 1972, Apollo 17, the last moon mission and the longest on the lunar surface at 74 hours and 59 minutes by astronauts Eugene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt. One more date. Also on the 7th, 1995, Galileo probe makes the first orbit of Jupiter after 6 years in transit. There's a heap of other dates, but I'll read them out later or next week. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, with the regular Friday night cast missions coming to you from here. Now, yes, we have an astronaut that's passed away. I've got a picture of this young lady. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so you are looking at, I'm just trying to find something else here. There we are, there's me. You are looking at Mary Cleave. Mary Cleave, trailblazing astronaut, dies at 76. She was the 10th woman in space, orbited the Earth 172 times, and logged 3.94 million miles during her space missions. Mary Cleave, a former NASA astronaut and engineer, died Monday at age 76, according to a release from NASA. Cleave was the 10th woman in space, the first woman to fly in NASA's space shuttle missions after the Challenger disaster of 1986, and the first woman to lead the Science Mission Directorate. The author here says, "I am sad we've lost Trailblazer," said NASA's Bob Cabana in the release. Mary was a force of nature with a passion for science, exploration, and caring for our home planet. She will be missed. Cleave was born in Southampton, New York, and grew up in Great Neck, New York. She received her bachelor degree in biological sciences in the Colorado State University. Later, Cleave completed her master's in microbial ecology and a PhD in civil and environmental engineering from Utah State University. I've got another picture here of it too. This is up in the space shuttle. Oops, get rid of that. Get rid of me. There you go. Cleave was selected for spaceflight in May 1980. Her first mission was aboard Space Shuttle Atlantis for the STS-61B mission in November 1985. During the mission, Cleave and the crew launched 3 communication satellites and went on 2 spacewalks. In 1989, Cleave flew again on Atlantis for her second shuttle mission, STS-30. During this mission, the crew launched the Magellan Venus exploration spacecraft, the first probe launched from a space shuttle. The Magellan spacecraft mapped Venus's surface and collected crucial information about the Venusian atmosphere and magnetic field. Cleve completed 10 days and 22 hours in space, orbited the Earth 172 times, and logged 3.94 million miles during her space missions, as mentioned before. In 1991, Cleve joined the Goddard Space Flight Center. There she worked on the Sea-WIFS, which is a satellite designed to collect the ocean's biological data. After retiring from NASA in 2007, Cleve continued to volunteer and speak to students and adults about her time as an astronaut and encouraged young women to seek STEM opportunities. So there she is, clever lady. 76. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel. Astronomers discover a disk around a star in another galaxy for the first time ever. Go figure. The observations reveal a massive young star growing and accreting matter from its surroundings and forming a rotating disk. Astronomers using the Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array, or ALMA, in the Chilean desert have just achieved an impressive astronomical first, imaging a planet-forming disk around a star in another galaxy. Now, I'm sure they've already done this, but anyway, they reckon it's the first time. The results of their efforts were published Wednesday in a paper in Nature. The discovery will now allow astronomers to watch as the star HH1177 undergoes the process of planet formation. And here's an artist's impression of this. So they haven't actually created an actual image of it yet, but this is an artist's impression at least anyway. Artist's impression, a disk and jet in the young star system HH1177. So, the discovery will now allow astronomers to watch as the star HH1177 undergoes the process of planet formation. It will also allow astronomers to compare the formation of planets, including the types of material available to form them, between stars in the Milky Way and those in HH1177's home galaxy, the Large Magellanic Cloud. That's where it is. The LMC is a satellite galaxy of the Milky Way, located about 160,000 light years away. It's a much smaller galaxy than our own, with only around 10% of the amount of stars. It's the largest of our satellite galaxies and is slowly being pulled toward our own galaxy. Just as other stars have different chemical compositions than the Sun, different galaxies have different chemical compositions than the Milky Way, with different ratios of available ingredients. The LMC, in particular, has lower metal content. Astronomers call all elements heavier than helium metals, and less dust than our own galaxy, according to the study lead author Anna MacLeod, an astrophysicist at the Durham University in the UK. Excuse me. Lower metal content may have been a boon in finding the circumstellar disk around HH1177, she says. The lower metal content leads to higher stellar and gas temperatures, and the combination with the lower dust content resulted in the star being visible in the optical, MacLeod says. Usually these types of stars are deeply embedded in their natal material, hidden from sight, MacLeod says. But because it has formed in an environment that is different from that of the Milky Way, it is not embedded and we can see it with optical telescopes which observe at the same wavelength as the human eye sees. HH1177 is about 15 times the mass of the Sun. the type of star that leads a short, explosive life ending in a fiery supernova. The disk itself could be up to 12,000 astronomical units across, where 1 astronomical unit, or 1 AU, is the average Earth-Sun distance of 93 million miles, or 150,000 kilometres. The find around HH1177 represents an exciting opportunity for astronomers to study the circumstellar disk from which planets may ultimately form in a star system far from home. I'll just leave it there. But yes, so there it is. It's courtesy of astronomy.com. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel. Tasmanian. You might... It's a pregnant pause. I've deliberately put it there. Just to wake up Martin. Tasmanian devil rises from slumber with brilliant bursts of light. What am I talking about? November 2029. In September 2022, a giant dead star, sorry, it's my dyslexia, I don't have it, but anyway, a distant dead star reawakened with a flash of light. Actually, there's an artist's impression of this too, so let me bring that up first, so you don't have to look at me all the time. Yeah, so there it is. A brilliant and powerful pulsating signal is about 1 billion light years from Earth and was picked up by 15 different telescopes worldwide. It's named AT 2022 TSD, or the Tasmanian Devil. Mysterious signals called luminous fast blue optical transients, LFBOTS, are the suspected source of the dead star's flares. The first LFBOT was observed in 2018 and dubbed the cow. NASA says about 1 are detected per year, and they are among the brightest known visible light events in the universe. These bright waves of blue light reach peak intensity in a few minutes, only to fade away. While quick, the flashes are as intense as the star's original explosion. The behaviour is different from a supernova's that can take weeks to months to lose their intensity, according to NOIRLAB, N-O-I-R-L-A-B, NOIRLAB. The Tasmanian Devil flashed several times, according to the authors of the new study published in Nature. They suspect the energy source of AT 2022 TSD could be from a magnetar or an accreting black hole. We don't think anything else can make these kinds of flares, said NOYQ, whatever. Study first author and astrophysicist of Cornell University. In a statement, she says, "This settles years of debate about what powers this type of explosion and reveals an unusual direct method of study the activity of these stellar corpses." Finally, HO detected the Ho, that's the person's surname. Ho detected the flashy stellar corpse with software that sifts through 500,000 changes in the sky captured by the Zwicky Transient Facility, ZTF, camera on the Samuel Austin Telescope at California's Palomar Observatory. Then Ho and other researchers analysed images that picked up the spike of light. Using the data collected from other telescopes worldwide, Ho and her team ruled out other potential light sources and homed in on the Tasmanian Devil's pulsating light. The team confirmed 14 light pulses that flashed over 120 days in the analysis. Amazingly, instead of fading steadily as one would expect, the source briefly brightened again and again and again. Ho said in a statement, LFBOTs are already a kind of weird exotic event, so this was even weirder, she says. Well, there it is. You're tuned to VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel. Time is 10:45, 15 minutes to 11. I think we're getting through things here. All right. Oh, cracking my back. A little bit of a plug for astrofizz.com. Brendan has announced that he has a new podcast up on his website, astrofizz.com. That's Astrofizz, ASTROPHIZ, astrofizz.com. Let me bring up the slide I have for this. And like I say, he has episode or podcast number 184. It's almost a record. 184 episodes he's done, podcasts. And this one is yet another female scientist, Korean in fact, Hiran Hiran Cho, I think is how you pronounce her name. And she's doing a podcast or an interview on black holes. An inspiring young astrophysicist from Korea who is doing her PhD at the Harvard Center of Astrophysics in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I've got another picture here of her. Let me go to this slide. Hiran uses her formidable computational skills to simulate the still mysterious black holes using supercomputers, as well as revealing the mysteries and the enigmatic fast radio bursts, aka FRBs. And her main research, she produces simulations of plasma accreting into black holes and is on an already successful quest to discover what really makes these wonderful phenomena tick and how galaxies and their central black holes interact with each other, regardless of their relative size. An amazing researcher making supermassive discoveries, Hiran Cho. On black holes. So that's episode 184 on astrofizz.com, and the sound file goes for 36 minutes and is worth listening to. And I might in the near future run that audio file over the program here at some stage. So thanks, Brendan, for another excellent episode. It's very good that you managed to find all these brilliant people. Next. All right. Now, timing is good. This time of the year being Christmas, if you have young children that desire to look at the sky and want a telescope for the Christmas tree, a lot of parents wouldn't have a clue what to buy their child. I would often say start out with a pair of binoculars, 12 by 50 binoculars with a 5-degree view on the sky. It's what I've got. It's what was given to me when I was about 9 years old, whatever it might have even been younger than that. Still got them. They've been dropped several times, but they still keep on ticking. But anyway, binoculars are a good start, but of course, excuse me, for a child to hold a pair of heavy binoculars might be a little bit of an issue. Anyway, former president of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, Perry Vlahos. Perry used to have a regular column in the Green Guide, and for old listeners to the broadcast here, Friday night broadcast, might remember that I used to read out Perry's fortnightly astronomical article that he would publish in the Green Guide, and I collected all those. I cut them out of the Green Guide, and they all stayed around here somewhere, but I would read them out as one of the first things for the broadcast. Unfortunately, the editor at the time for the Green Guide decided that to not publish any more of Perry's articles, which was a damn shame. But anyway, Perry's Facebook page, it's called Perry Vlahos Astronomy. If you're into Facebook, if you just type in Perry Vlahos Astronomy, you'll find his dedicated Facebook page. Once again, he's devoted a few words to those that are wanting to look for a telescope or something for their family for a Christmas tree present. And he writes 5 days ago, he says here, "A telescope for Christmas, ? Many people want to buy telescopes at this time of the year without really knowing much about them. Fatal mistakes occur easily under these circumstances, so please listen carefully. Here's the truth about telescopes. They are not all created equal. They are not all created equal. Some of them are no more than glorified toys. Others make great anchors on your boat. A few end up in closets and are only ever brought out to scare little children into eating their vegetables. I've seen through good ones and bad ones, and here's what you need to know before you go and spend money on a Christmas gift for a loved one or yourself. Perhaps the easiest advice to follow is don't, in big letters. Don't buy a telescope from a supermarket chain, a large department store, a photography shop, or a retailer that sells Australian travel guides. I think you get the picture. I've not seen one telescope I would buy in any of these stores. You need to buy your telescope from a dedicated telescope shop. That's not to say telescope shops don't have their share of horoscopes that I can't recommend, but it's where you'll most likely find the better scopes for astronomy. For the first telescope, you need an instrument that's easy to use, reliable, and gives the biggest bang for your buck, as well as a wow factor. Don't buy anything which will confuse you, such as a telescope with an equatorial mount. On cheaper scopes, they just don't work anyway. Stay away from a telescope on a flimsy tripod on your first foray into astronomy. Too much shake, plus the vibrations take too long to subside. Finally, run faster than Usain Bolt from any telescope which advertises its magnification more predominantly than its mirror size or front lens diameter. If they do that, they are trying to fool you about what the most important thing is in a telescope. So then, let's skip the semis and go straight to the grand final. Semis, that's what he's saying. The recommended so then let's skip the semis and go straight to the grand final. What do you buy? ? The recommended entry-level instrument these days for visual astronomy is an 8-inch Dobsonian telescope. Please understand that Dobsonian is not a brand, but rather a type of telescope design, and many different brands offer them. Don't bother asking me about the best brand, Perry says. They are all pretty good and most likely made in the same 2 factories in China. So then, the name on the tube of the telescope doesn't matter. Just buy the one that's the best deal. And if you don't know if it's a good deal, send me a private message and I'll tell you in that respect. Anyway, he concludes by saying, a short description is they are a long tube with an 8-inch diameter mirror at the bottom, a finder scope at the top, the eyepieces to fit on the side of the tube, and the whole thing sits on a mount that can resemble a wooden box. It looks more like a cannon than a traditional idea of a telescope. It should not cost more than about $700 to $800. If it does, go somewhere else and ask for a better deal. If you can't afford this, ask in an astronomy club and see if someone is selling a well-kept second-hand one in the $350 to $600 range. I've actually seen some Dobsonian type telescopes on the Facebook marketplace in recent times. That's me saying that, not Perry. Back to Perry's article. He says here, if you still can't meet this price, save until you can. But don't buy anything on a tripod because it fits your budget. They are cheaper for a reason. Should you not be able to wait, get a pair of 7x50 binoculars. See, that's what I was saying at the start there. Get a pair of 7x50 binoculars, but don't spend more than $100 or $150 on these. An 8-inch Dob will give breathtaking views of the moon, its craters, mountains and valleys. It will show Saturn's rings and Jupiter's moons, countless star clusters, and the brighter nebulae. And if you can take it out to a dark rural sky, you'll see some galaxies through it as well. You can even get a taste for astrophotography by putting your phone to the eyepiece and try the first moon. Try the moon first, he's saying. In hands down, the best telescope to begin with in astronomy. Share this advice with others to prevent them from making a mistake this Christmas. Good luck and clear skies from Perry Vlahos, former president of the ASV. But here's a picture. I should have brought this up while I was chatting. But here's a picture of the Dobson telescope that I was just talking about. That's an 8-inch Dobsonian, and it's fully steerable by hand. It's balanced. It's a beautifully balanced arrangement. Fully steerable. You can position it to any part of the sky real quick, and it's very easy to pick up and move around. Well, with care, of course. So that's the telescope Perry talks about. Thanks, Perry. I don't suspect he's listening tonight, but he's actually getting over some COVID, so he's probably tucked up in bed. All right. You've been listening to Clint Jeffrey, VK3 CSJ, on the microphone. This is ASV Radio, VK3 EKH. Now let's go to the next thing, which is space weather. Okay, the solar wind is currently at a speed of 532.8 kilometers a second. Let me go to the graphic that I was going to put up. There we go. So the solar wind is 532.8 kilometers a second at a density of 12.95 protons per cubic centimeter. This is the current disk of the sun. There are 10 sunspots on the disk of the sun as we speak. The current sunspot number is 138. The current radio sun flux measurement is 167 solar flux units measured at a wavelength of 10.7 centimeters. And as you saw at the beginning of tonight's broadcast, is the Aurora Australis happening right as we speak. It is engrossing Tasmania and the tip of mainland Australia. So if you've got a clear part of the sky, I would suggest that there is probably some auroral activity occurring as I speak. Spaceweather.com says that a CME just hit Earth. However, it might not be the big one. A CME hit magnetic Earth field on December 1 at 0 hours 21 minutes UT, jolting the USGS's magnetometer in Virginia at 36 Newton Teslas. This could be the first of two CMEs en route to Earth. NOAA forecasters expect a significant cannibal CME composed of multiple storm clouds to reach Earth midday on the 1st of December, possibly sparking strong G3 class geomagnetic storms. And there's already some aurora activity being photographed. So it's all happening as we speak. No report from Temitha. Temitha did. She has produced a YouTube video, but it's one of her hour-long episodes. So you have to be a patron to be able to see her hour-long episodes, where she goes into some detail. But of course, what I grab a hold of is the short 10-minute version. All right. So as of the 1st of December 2023, there is 2,349 potentially hazardous asteroids, but none of them are on a collision course with Earth at this present point in time. So that's it for spaceweather.com. And I think on that point, at just after 11, I shall conclude this evening's transmissions on 80, the broadcast at least, and I shall open up the frequency for any stations wishing to call in. And let's see how we go. I think I've got everything right here. This is VK3 EKH, listening on 3541 kilohertz. Okay, there were a few little doubles there at the start, but I've got 3GL, VK5 KKT, VK3 TJS, VK3 SPX. Was there anybody else? Okay, I've got VK3JR, VK3 Delta X-ray. There's another station in there. Right, I thought that was you there, Martin. VK7JAH. All right, anybody else? Okay, to the top of the list, Graham. VK3 Golf Lima, Bunyip, VK3 EKH. Good evening.
Good evening to everyone else who's on the callback session this evening. I trust everyone's getting through enough for the broadcast tonight, Clint. Unlike last Friday, I wasn't quite as busy at work, so I did get the opportunity to be able to listen to and watch online everything that you were mentioning this evening. So good stuff. I was aware of the coronial mass ejection. Well, was it about 48 hours or so ago? I knew about that report, and I'd forgotten all about it until you brought up the picture at the start of your broadcast this evening, and I had a bit of a look online. Unfortunately, it's just ironic that and how often it seems to happen that when we've got something as good as what this one is tonight, we're under cloud cover. It's such a frustration, it really is, and a bit of a disappointment. I remember Paul VK3DA down in Belnari. He's got a pretty good lookout towards the south, and he's been able to take some reasonable photos in times gone past. So there we go. Anyway, a good signal from you here on 80 metres this evening. A little bit of noise on the band this evening, but your wild's really cutting through that. I decided I'd fire up an old radio tonight to do the callback. So I'm running my Yaesu FT847. And you know what one of those is, Cliff. So this is the one that I bought brand new back in 1998, I think I bought it. So she's a good, 25 years old now. And still works quite good, for sure. So I thought I'd blow the cobwebs out of it tonight, turn it on and see whether or not it was working okay. Anyway, thanks very much for the card, and yeah, much appreciated, all very good. I might have a bit of a chat to you if you so desire after the call back tonight as well. If you're free to do so, VK3EKH, VK3GL Bunyip.
Yeah, okay, Graham. VK3GL Bunyip, VK3EKH returning, and a good signal from you, but the observation is auroral. Boy, oh boy, can I hear the effects of the aurora on your signal. I would imagine that I should be the same to you, but you didn't make any mention of it. So, but I can hear 100% hear the effects of the auroral modulation of your RF transmission, and it's really quite distinct. So unfortunately, I don't have a direct audio patch to my YouTube set up here, but I do have the microphone picking you up pretty well. So if I don't have any of that effect on my signal, have a playback of the YouTube when I stop streaming, and have a listen to yourself. It's quite distinctive. Yes. What else did you say in all that? I was too engrossed in the sound of your audio on your signal. It was really quite magnificent. All right. Yes, I might be around just a little bit afterwards. I'm a bit tired, but I can probably hang around for about 5 minutes. Thanks, Graham. Across to Ian, VK5KKT, Two Worlds, VK3EKH. Go ahead, Ian. Yeah, thanks, Ian. VK5KKT, VK3EKH. You're just above that noise. I was able to capture probably every second word, but you're just above that noise floor here at this location. Thanks for the report. I did get to 20 over 9. I'm just glad that my system here is behaving tonight, and I'm able to run up to 400 watts here without too many problems. But yes, look, I've yet to see the aurora. I've never seen it by eye at this stage, and I'm looking at the current image off spaceweather.com, and it's there's still a fairly intense ring. It's red. It's I've got it. I've got it on YouTube. I'm showing it over YouTube channel right now, including the repeater, and there's a very distinct red line to it, which is a 90% chance of seeing the effects of the aurora australis. So there it is, and it's certainly having an effect here on 80 meters. Although I didn't really pick it up on your signal. Your signal was quite stable in that sense, interestingly enough. Thanks, Ian. Jack, VK3 TJS in Shepparton. Let's see if the aurora is affecting your signal. VK3 TJS, VK3 EKH.
VK3 EKH, this is VK3 TJS. Good evening to you, and good evening to everyone that's joined in that and on the broadcast. And really interesting stuff about the aurora. I don't think it would make sense coming from here from Shepparton, but you never know. I'll go just to make sure and check it out. You'll see a blast up maybe for the last 3 weeks. It's about 30 old races in northeast 40. However, the concept is also about 10 I'm not sure what it sounds like, how it affects the transmission of the aurora, but probably experience will show me what to look like anyway. I'm not sure. Anyway, good broadcast, and thanks very much for running it, and hope you have a good evening, and start typing it out. Let's see, VK3 KH, VK3 TJS.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. VK3 TJS, VK3 EKH, not a problem. There's just the slightest little bit of auroral modulation on your signal, to use that terminology. It's not as strong as it was on Graham, but I can just detect a little bit of the effect on your signal, but it's only very minor. So very interesting. Well, there it is. But I look, even up in Shepparton, if you've got a clear view south, maybe not right now, but certainly earlier this evening, perhaps. There would have been a good chance of seeing some auroral glow in the sky, perhaps. Not to say that it won't be the same tomorrow night. I would say that this current CME that's hitting the Earth at the moment will probably continue for the next 24 hours. All right, thanks, Jack. Steve, VK3 SBX, VK3 EKH.
VK3 EKH, this is VK3 SBX, thanks, Clint. Interesting stuff as usual. Here are interesting things. The aurora seems to be the headline for today, doesn't it? I went out and had a look as I think, I forget now, Martin, I think, and it's all 10 here in Barringup as well. I might go out and have a look in a minute. I've got an app on my phone, which is actually just the Bureau of Meteorology website, and one of their links is the auroral oval prediction tool, and it has generally numbers. 0 is the most common number it has, and sometimes I've seen there's a 3-minute 6 at the moment, so it's outstandingly high right at the moment. So I'll go and look, but as I said, it's probably still clouds. And I'm about 68, Clint, I've never seen a 10th aurora. It's about time, isn't it? I've got to see what sooner or later. It's a shame, but I do look forward to that. So maybe one day, but I don't think tonight's going to be the night, unfortunately. Yeah, never mind about that. All right, well, thanks for the broadcast, Clint. Good stuff as usual, and we'll see you next week. VK3 EKH, VK3 SPX.
Thanks, Steve. VK3 SPX, VK3 EKH. Yeah, yes. As much as I would like to travel to the north and see the amazing auroral views that they have up there, I don't think that'll ever happen. But yeah, still, some of these auroral effects here can be photographed from Port Phillip Bay, or further south quite easily. So I'm not. I won't be. Excuse me. I won't be surprised if there's somebody that's gone down the coast, aurora chasers, and have taken some pictures. So keep an eye out on the Facebook pages. That's if you're into Facebook, or elsewhere. And I'm sure there is something that will show up very soon. And just a little bit of news on the dome. Things are moving forward on the scope dome here. I've received a message from the chaps out at Sidereal Trading, and they're sending out a fellow to inspect the deck first to make sure that everything is kosher before coming out to assemble the dome. So that could be happening as early as next week. I'm not too sure at this stage, but the chap that assembles the scope domes, he's pretty keen to make sure that the deck, that the dome, and that's not just my dome, but any dome, the deck is properly assembled and as level and flat as possible. Very important. So that looks like it could be happening very soon. So I'm looking forward to seeing anything coming from that. Keep you informed. All right, across to it's Frank, VK3JR, VK3EKH.
VK3EKH, VK3JR, good evening everyone. Strange to be most interested. Very interested in the telescope information. Maybe down the track progressed. It's actually starting to story. And where I see the cross. Otherwise, WWNC forecasting strong storm quarter today. Nothing extended tomorrow. You're right, I think there's more chance. Hopefully more aurora. Next to do are short missions on tonight. Short missions. VK3EKH, VK3JR.
Good on you, Frank. VK3JR. VK3EKH. I've got a cat doing things around my feet. I was just keeping an eye on what she's up to. Thanks, Frank. And it's been a little while since I've listened to WWV, but I might take a quick listen and see what they're announcing. I'm sure Tamitha will be releasing a short video in the next 24 hours in regards to this current CME activity. If there is a video, it won't really be applicable for next Friday, but if she does release a news report in the next 24 hours or so, I'll be featuring it on the WIA news on Sunday morning, on the TV system. What else is there? No, that's it. And okay, on the short missions. Okay, I'll turn the AR7 on. All right, thanks, Frank. All right. It's crossed to Greg in Warrnambool, VK3 Delta X-ray, VK3 EKH. Haven't heard you for a few weeks there, Greg.
Yeah, good on you, Clint. VK3 EKH, VK3 Delta X-ray. Greg down in Warrnambool. Yeah, he should be down under Point, mate, looking out there and see whether the great southern lights are flashing tonight. Certainly on the radio, Clint, I think it may have been very noticeable with your broadcast this morning. Good evening to everybody there that's checked in. All signals good. And your signal would be about 20 over there, Clint, and all of a sudden it'd go up to nearly 30 and 40. very noticeable, and then drop away. I think that might have had something to do with what's going on there, Clint. So, it's good broadcast, Clint. Always very interesting. Yes, I've been missing for a few weeks there, mate. I did tune around last week. Now, I'm not sure what was happening. There was an issue with it, so I think I gave it away early. But anyway, good to hear on there, Clint. And good on the update there with what's happening, mate, with your dome and everything. Sounds like it's all still moving on nicely. And it won't be long, mate, and you'll be looking at the stars, mate. Good on you, Clint. Back to you, mate. VK3EKH. VK3 Delta X-ray, Greg there in Waterville.
Good on you, Greg. VK3 Delta X-ray, VK3 EKH, VK3 CSJ on the microphone. 20 over 9, Greg. Good solid signal from you. No effects from the Aurora. I can't hear anything on your signal that's indicating auroral modulation as such. Only Graham's been the only strongest signal on it, so it's very unusual. Anyway, I can't wait to get. I just cannot wait to get the dome going and a telescope set up. I'm currently investigating cameras. There are planetary cameras and there are deep sky cameras, and there is a difference. I queried that the other day on an astrophotography Facebook page, and there's been lots of good information that's come back from other astrophotographers about the differences and the reasons why. So I'm now a little bit better understanding the reasons for that. So I am still trying to work out though which camera to start off with for taking pictures of the sky, which will come in due course. I'll be quite happy to set the telescope up and look through the eyepiece by eye first of all. I want to do that. I want to get all that down pat. But at some point in time, at 3 o'clock on a very cold morning, I think I would rather be inside in the warmth of the astronomer's room and have a camera attached to the telescope and let the camera do all the work, which is what is going to occur eventually. So we shall keep you guys informed of all that, how it all comes together. Thanks, Greg. Good to hear you. Good signal, like I say. Martin, VK7JAH. I wonder if there'll be any auroral effects on you. Be interesting. Because you're directly south. VK7JAH, VK3EKH.
Looking out my window, whatever that door I see the about how much we broadcast it very simply and look at, to be quite honest, I always try to keep myself over a few bit of light all the time, but nevertheless, you're free, can't wait, there's a little bit of indication of a gap in the day, looking at reading, and there is a possibility we might go through the review. Issues related to my people coming up to you, I suspect that I would get from you.
Thanks, Martin. VK7JAH, VK3EKH returning. Losing my voice now. Okay, thanks for all those good comments, and I think you were saying that there's a little bit of cloud cover that's causing a bit of issue down your way at the moment. I do have. Where's my mouse? Like 1, 2. Yeah, RF is getting into my mouse, so I won't talk for a moment. There we are. Right, just bringing up the radar, and I can see. Let me. Hang on. I've just lost. Just lost the connection to the radar. I don't think my YouTube is still running, but for some reason, where am I now? Oh my good. Sorry, I'm just wasting time here. I've lost it. I was going to try and bring up the satellite image of the cloud cover over Tassie at the moment, but it's all gone skew, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, never mind. We'll all get a chance to see this aurora at some point. It's definitely covering most of Tassie at the moment, though, Martin. I would say that there'd be some visual aspect quite possibly happening. Certainly due south. All right. There was very slightest noticeable effect on your signal, but it was very marginal. So none of you guys have really reflected that interesting auroral effect. It's only been Graham at the top of the list. Unusual. All right. Is there anybody else wishing to call in? VK3EKH listening? Okay, there was 2 stations there, 3 VIN and 3 KIS. Have a say, Ian, VK3 VIN, VK3 EKH. but I'll give you a 5 or 9. But as you said, the lightning crashes are really competing with the signal. So, but I got most of what you were saying, and yes, the I know what you're saying about the dome. I've had somebody else say to me that that when it comes to doing astronomy and having a telescope to look at the sky, that being able to set up your telescope outside and get it all set up and going for a nighttime viewing, that's one thing that you can do. But then you've got to bring it all back inside. But I've had the same thing from another person saying that given the expense that's gone into getting this dome and getting the deck made and the laying of power and Ethernet data cable, all that getting done, I know what you're saying. Let's just hope that it's been worth it. Because I'll be very disappointed if at the end of the day the thing that kills any attempt to do good astronomy here is the light pollution. Because I'm in suburbia here. Narre South is pretty much in the thick of it. Although where I'm particularly located, it's not so bad. But I have a busy road that goes right past the property here, Cranbourne Road, Narre Warren Cranbourne Road, and our property here is right on an intersection which is bathed in LED lighting, and that's only about 100 metres away from me where the dome is. So the only redeeming thing where I've placed this dome is the fact that I've got a whole bunch of trees between the front of the property and the dome, shielding me from a lot of this light. Secondly, one of the reasons why I liked the idea of a dome is that the telescope is generally protected from all angles except for what it's looking through the open shutter. So any stray light from anywhere else is blocked because you're inside the dome, and the shutter is the only part of the view of the sky. So I'm hoping that street lighting and other lights won't be too much of an issue. I mean, there is some very good seeing. There is some good seeing that occurs down here, but I think it's a handful of nights out of a 365 year. Only a handful of nights I think you're likely to get good seeing. So my kingdom for a 5-acre property somewhere out in the country with a view towards Melbourne. Why do I say a view towards Melbourne? That you want to try and avoid Melbourne. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it may or may not happen. But look, I have seen evidence of good astrophotography taken from suburban block. It can be done with the right amount of exposure time, the right amount of filterage on the telescope. It is amazing what is above our heads in the sky that our normal eyes cannot see. So I want to develop a little personal catalogue of objects that can be seen from Narre Warren South. Yeah, I'm going to be using it. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff, that is for sure. There it is, a lot of waffle for no purpose at all. Thanks, Ian. Good to hear you. Thanks for the report. Excellent stuff indeed. Andrew, VK3KIS, VK3EKH.
Going to be doing it again next week, or if you also the, I think you said it was going to be 6 weeks, was that? But, yeah, the it can be challenging. I have been able to find the red dot on Jupiter and able to see Saturn and of course with the rings and just now of course we've got to get Mars around, so it's a big view of Mars in quite a while. Since I've got this current setup, I haven't had a good view of Mars, mainly because of weather issues. And of course, I've got managed to get Neptune, just a couple of dots on the screen, a couple of last ones in the sea of stars. So that's the QP done. And yeah, I'm using the QHY-CCD camera, and it's the color camera. So don't turn your nose up at that. So that's a good starting point. Well, it's a good starting point for me. I certainly wish you luck with viewing in the future. But I'll say 7-3 at this point. Thanks for doing it, and we'll catch you when we catch you. 3EKH,
Good on you, Andrew. VK3KIS, VK3EKH. Very good. Yes, I actually remember you sent me a picture, I think, of the shot you took of was it Uranus, and I was fairly impressed with that. So yeah, look, I'm going to try and photograph all the planets that can be photographed. Yeah, right from Mercury through to our gas giants, and even Pluto. I would love to be able to photograph Pluto. I mean, I'm not talking about being able to see any details, but what I would like to do is two photographs, so that you actually see the movement of a very distant object in 2 frames over 2 nights. And I can say that object that you can see there, when you compare both frames, that little object that's moved in that star field, that's Pluto. And I'll be rapt just to be able to do that. But there's just so much more that I'd like to do. So yeah, exoplanets. I'm keen to see if I can find, well, not find, but the list of exoplanets that have already been found. See if I can detect them, and the spectra. Looking at the spectra of stars. That's something else that's of interest. Looking at variables, recording data from variable stars. There's something else in there too that I fancy. Exoplanets. There was something else. Yeah. So I mean, I just don't want to, be looking at the same old. Astrophotography, yeah, I guess is the other thing. But monochrome photography. I love monochrome photography. The effect is really quite nice. But certainly the colorizing images is an art, and boy oh boy, some of the pictures I've been seeing lately coming from some of our astrophotographers in the ASV, it's they're just brilliant, just completely in awe. Anyway, not to worry. Now, I think you're asking if I'll be on next week. Yes, I'll be here next week. I finish up on the 18th of December, so I will probably make the 22nd the last session for the year, and then I'll probably be off for 3 or 4 weeks, probably 4 weeks, I don't know yet, but I'll let you know. But I'll continue broadcasting until the 22nd of December, and get that all done for the rest of the year. So what's the date today? It's the first, isn't it? Yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more Fridays of listening to my dulcet tones. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Okay. If that's it, I shall conclude for tonight. Thanks everybody for listening. To everybody that's been up on the Discord channel there, Martin, Kim, and Joe, VK3BKI, g'day Joe, Cassiopeia, Nebs, Steve, Mitch, VK3ZT, g'day Mitch, and that's where the screen disappears. So anybody else above that, thanks for coming up on the chat window, and to the folks that sent emails, thank you. And have a nice weekend. Try and stay warm for tomorrow. It's going to be no more than 17 degrees, I think, tomorrow here in Melbourne. But come Sunday and Monday, it's going to be up to over 30 before it goes cold again. Such strange weather patterns. Anyway, cheers everyone. Take care. Look after yourselves. VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria. Like I say, any information about the society can be gleaned from the website at www.asv.org.au. This is VK3EKH. Cheers, everyone. Well, yes. VK3GL, VK3CSJ now, so I'll just get rid of that and get rid of that. No, I don't want that. That one there. And where's my call sign? Where's my test pattern? There it is. Oh, tired as a wet week. Yeah, all right, I can still hear auroral effect on your signal. It's still quite predominant. So given the distance between us, I'm quite interested in the way that signal is reflecting off the ionosphere here. I wonder if you're hearing the same thing on me, VK3GL, VK3CSJ.
Really picked anything. I haven't picked anything on anyone's signal really, other than what I would say is the normal phase shift, particularly on 80 metres. So yeah, I'm not really picking up anything. You're very, very strong. I'm reading 4-7. I haven't got the preamp in or anything like that, but that's indicating that you're like, 30, 40 overnight. Now, I know that they use that sort of LED type meter in the display, and I'm not really sure how accurate that is compared to an analog needle type S meter, but certainly very strong. And I'm just hearing what I think is the normal atmospheric distance. I normally get 180. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not it's maybe one day sort of such conditions. But you've indicated when you're listening to others that you weren't hearing anything to do with the aurora on other signals. So it's interesting now it might be just me. I haven't got the current aurora map in front of me, so I guess it's probably still pretty active. It might be interesting to see what it was like, what it was like on other bands. I noticed yesterday just some really strange effects. I was listening, and I don't know whether it was sort of too early for any of these conditions, the detections that hit the surface or not. But I was listening on, as I do sometimes, or I haven't made it. Now, there's been some conditions earlier in the week from over in Europe, and that was sort of on Tuesday night and Wednesday night. I could hear Europe coming through, and I actually spoke to a guy on Channel 40 on the TV set over in the UK. Interesting enough. Anyway, that aside, I I was listening yesterday afternoon. There's a guy who I know of who's Scottish, and I picked up his voice a mile away. I've known him for a long, long time. He used to live in Dublin, and he now lives down in Moe. And blowing down, if he did not put out a call, and he was like, it's 9 here, and he said where he was. He put his name out, called out, listening from Moe. But for goodness sake, like Moe's 50-odd K down the road, and yet he was at 7 West 9. Gee. And I called him back with no response. Absolutely no response. He was gone in a flash. So it was just like this really sharp, just at the time when he put out a call, short, sharp burst, I'll signal something. So it was really quite strange. Once again, I don't know whether that would have anything to do with the current solar storm. Mind you, it was yesterday, and it is this image. I can see the image that you got up on the screen at the moment, and it looks like it may have relaxed a little to what it was earlier. It's a real shame, that we have to have cloud cover when there's a potential show on like this, that we've got cloud cover. I did also have a look for some live sky cams or something like that from down in Paddy. Only a quick look, but I couldn't find anything that was sort of pointing upwards to give it perhaps any indication of what was coming off the skyline. Mind you, a lot of the sky cams over there, they've got other light pollution noise. There was one at the airport, wasn't so damn good because there's too many lights around. There was another one across the bridge down in Hobart, I think that goes over the Dillon River. There was a couple of beach cams, but then when I looked into further detail, they were pointing northward or northwest or northeast, and not really pointing south. So probably unlikely to see anything on those. But it'd be good if we could find a reasonable sky cam or something for down there in Tassie that was good enough quality to see something like that. Anyway, we'll probably see some photographs. Someone will probably post some photographs online somewhere of all the activity and what they've been able to see tonight. I think the last time that there was a reasonable aurora, there was reports of being seen over in South Australia and Perth and places like that. And as Greg said before from down in Warrnambool, that's another really good spot. If you're elevated and looking across that stretch down at Warrnambool, will be pretty good. You probably reckon places like Lawn or Anglesey and places like that, even crossing Bell's Beach, Torquay, places like that would be pretty good. Again, provided that there's no cloud cover. Anyway, I can see you sitting there sitting on the chair with your book. So I don't know which one that is or whether that's a new one. But anyway, I can see you sitting on your chair there in shape. VK3CSJ, VK3GL.
Right. VK3GL, VK3CSJ. That was Kiska. She's she'd be 5 years old now. The family of four kittens that were born here in April 2019, 18. Anyway, but that's Kiska. She was the only cat that I've had all this time, and I wish that I hadn't taken on those. Well, no, I won't say I wish I hadn't taken on the two black kittens. They're delightful. These two black kittens, which I'm keeping away from getting up here. I've already had to chase them out a couple of times. They climb the spiral staircase and they They get in here, and if they get in here, I can't get to them. Not easily. There's too many things in this room for these two little kittens to get behind, and I just cannot get to them. So at the moment, they're not welcome up here. So I've got a big piece of canvas wedged in the spiral staircase to stop them from coming up. It seems to have worked so far. But Kiska's up here. Kiska came up first, and Kiska's all right. She's not a nuisance cat, not like two kittens. But these two little black kittens, where's my mobile phone? I don't have a photograph on the computer, but I do have a recent image I took of them in the chair, and it's quite a good picture, really. Let me see if I can quickly show you on the camera. It's a mobile phone in front of the camera trick, but I think you can tell roughly. No, it wants to do that. Okay. So that's the two blacks on the camera right now. So I know you're going to have to. Yeah, so bloody phone keeps doing it. I can't. As soon as I turn the mobile phone around, the picture bloody rotates. But you can see the two blacks in the chair. One's a slightly fluffy fur, and the other's got a very thin coat of fur. But they come from the same mother, from what I understand. So yeah. Yeah, I just heard a meow. I'm not sure if Kiska wants to get down. Kiska. I'm not sure if Kiska was meowing to get down, because she might not be able to get down. I'll just quickly check that. Hang on a sec. It's all right. I thought you were meowing to want to go down, but obviously not. So that's all right. Sorry about that. Just walked off the camera there for a moment, and the microphone. Yeah, okay. On the propagation between the other station and Moe. Yes, it is interesting, isn't it? Did you mention the frequency? I can't remember if you mentioned the frequency. 15 meters. I can't remember. But yeah, now she's meowing. Hang on. Yeah. All right. Oh, sorry about that. Kiska's not in agreement with the two blacks. She wants to play with them, but she swears at them, and they're still settling in. She's still settling in with them, but Kiska wanted to go downstairs, and of course the two blacks. One of the blacks is coming up the spiral staircase, and one of the other blacks is actually currently sitting in my Yaesu external speaker on top of the Telefunken transmitter. So as Kisk is going down the spiral staircase, she's swearing at the little black kitten that wants to come up, and I'm rattling the spiral staircase to try and get the little black kitten to go the other way and go down, and that's disturbing Kiska that I'm rattling the spiral staircase. So she walks towards the top of the Telefunken transmitter only to see the other black kittens inside the external Yaesu speaker that's sitting there. So she swears again at the other cat, and then decides at that moment to take a leaping jump from the spiral staircase onto the floor. So yes, it's all happening here at the Jeffrey residence. But I suspected that Kiska wanted to use the kitty litter box, so she had to get down. Oh dear. But yeah, it's nice to have the kittens because they are full of life. You see these two kittens playing, and I can't believe it. I mean, I've seen kittens before. We've had kittens plenty of times in the past, and I know that they're very active when they're at that age. But these two blacks, just watching them play, it's just amazing. They chase each other. They launch from high advantage points, and it really is amusing. But Kiska's already grown up. I can see Kiska would love to play with them, but she's already too old now for them, and she'd rather swear and bash them up. So I'm not too sure if it was a good idea getting the two blacks, but anyway, they'll grow up quickly. Once they become mature black cats, then they'll settle down at that point, and it'll be all right. No problems. All right. Okay, Gray, if that's all if there's nothing else. What is it? It's coming up to midnight. So, it's less effect on your signal right now. That last image that I showed of the Aurora Australis it's retreating a little bit now. It's not as the previous image. It was a little bit more onto the mainland, but I can bring up that other image. Where are we? There's two images I've got here. This is before and after. So the shot that I've got on the screen right now is the before that was taken around 10:30, or 10 o'clock. Actually, it was taken around 10 o'clock, and this image here is taken just a few minutes ago. So there is a bit of a subtlety in those two images. Yeah, I can swap between the two pretty easily. Look at that, not a problem. Yeah, all very good. Now, was there anything else? I can't remember. Sounds like you had a good get-together last week with the engagement party. I'm glad that all went off reasonably well for you and for Tori and to Lewin, something like that. Funny name. VK3 GL, VK3 CSJ.
It's Lou Allen.
Okay, Lou Allen. All right, have you got it?
Yeah, we call him Louis, so that's all okay. VK3 CSJ, VK3 GL. Yeah, okay, all noted. All okay on the chat. And those things. Yeah, once they settle in, they should be alright. The same thing when we got the last ragdoll. The eldest, Capeman Spencer, the Burmese, who's 20 years old, he would spit and carry on. He wasn't, he's not really that fond. And when we got the Finn as well, the dog, he used to carry on as a dog, but not anymore. Not anymore. They've got used to one another. In fact, sometimes in winter when the fire going, the mates just curled up with the dog in front of the fire. They get on like they're great mates. As long as the dog doesn't, stick his nose anywhere it's not wanted,
Kiska.
they're good mates. So there we go. The dog's asleep here in the shack on the floor at the moment. He was something that I really missed while we were away. I don't know whether I told you or not, but Tori was looking after Finn. She took him to her place. And every night before they went to bed, Tori would take a photo and send it to me. So it would be normally anywhere from about 1 o'clock till about 2:30 in the afternoon over in Spain or over in Europe, and I'd get this photo come through, and it was my daily Finn update. And I'd update the picture on my phone, so it was my screen on my phone. So every day I had a fresh picture of my dog, which was good, because I really missed him. I was looking forward to coming home to see him, and he was so excited when we got home. Unbelievable. Anyway, now I was listening intently to your transmission when you went for a walk with the cat down to the spiral staircase. Just the shack engine that was there was you hear I don't know whether you call it like a fan going in the background, but that shack engine noise that you get. And I could hear the change in it and the auroral effect on that. I'm not hearing it as much on your signal on voice, although there was one spot for about 30 seconds where there was a strange effect on your signal during your last over. And it was, it was just, I don't know how to describe it, but it was just different. It was different to the normal signal phase or phasing effect. So I dare say this, I am hearing something that's a little strange and normal, but not all the time. And it's interesting how you now make the comment that my signal to you does not seem to be affected as much. So who knows, it might have been just through that over that I had on the initial callback. Just happened to be the right timing for us to pick up that effect. Now what I was talking about earlier, the station I was talking to you about in Maui, that was on channel 35 on the TV set with. It was just, I hadn't, because I'm preparing these things, I will often have a set running in the background on either channel 38 or channel 35 or something like that, just monitoring. And I'll sometimes do comparisons if I'm taking a receiver out. I might just do a little comparison between sets. Anyway, I was listening to it yesterday, and that's when I heard this guy that I know, I've done some repairs for him before. And that's what I heard him call out, and I thought it was really odd to hear someone that strong from that sort of distance, 50 k's away. And then when I went to call him, there was nothing. There was no response at all. Now, I've had similar effects with backscatter before. Of course, that's different. I've actually spoken to Luke from the K3HJ, who lives up in central Victoria there, up behind Wood End, Macedon, Mansfield type area. And we've had the effect where we've worked each other with our antennas pointing out towards the Pacific. And that's been pure and simply off backscatter. Otherwise we wouldn't hear each other. Now I think that contact that we had at one stage was on 10 meters. And a perfectly good copy to each other. As soon as we turned our antennas away from pointing northeast, the signal had disappeared completely. So it's interesting stuff. It's radio propagation, that's for sure. Anyway, Cliff, I'll have another over from you, and that'll be time for me to knock off. I finished these days, I finish at 12:15. So I start at 3:15 and finish at 12:15. I do that every Thursday and Friday. So, and every second Saturday I'll do 3 o'clock until 11 o'clock at night, which I'm doing tomorrow. Hopefully the weather won't be too bad tomorrow, because Alison wants to go out on Sunday. I'm not going with her. I'm tied up with some other things, but she wants to go to the Mustang car group cruise, which is their Christmas get-together, or pre-Christmas get-together. And I think that's up Yarra Dam or somewhere like that. And I think Tori's going to go with her. So I've got to wash the car ready for tomorrow, or ready for Sunday. I've got to wash the car tomorrow, so it won't matter if it's raining. I'll just wash it and I'll shut it off and put it in the car all ready for her to take it out on Sunday. So I think that'll be the first time that she's been out anywhere in particular in her car since June. So I'm sure she'll enjoy the day out. She always likes making a lot of noises and things. Alright, I'll go back to you there, and then I'll probably be ready to knock off in 10 minutes time. The K3CSJ, the K3GL.
Yep, no worries, great. VK3GL, VK3CSJ. Yeah, ambient fan noises that are constant audio will obviously show up. Things like the QSB and fading aural effects more obviously than speech. So yeah, just blowing into the microphone is kind of would show that up as well. It's just that white noise effect, I suppose. I do have a white noise generator here, but it's actually I could probably plug it in. It's I don't know how easy that would be to do that. If the lead is easy, yes. Yeah, I've got a lead ready to plug into the mixer, and if let's see, just seeing what's connected here, audio out, test tones, and if I can, that's long enough to reach to the mixer, which it probably isn't. No, it's not long enough, but I just need a longer wire, a longer audio cable, which I can use my ID machine on, which is this ID. I don't know if this is going to come over the radio. That was my Morse ID. Now, is that going to be long enough? No, I haven't quite got a lead long enough to reach. Oh, hang on a second, I know what I can do. Yeah, just bear with just for a second, Graham, while I bring this a little closer to the mixer. Yeah, bear with me for a sec. I'm trying to generate a white noise source here, and I've got to turn the power on to that. Alright, so I should be able to generate some white noise in a second. Alright, let's see. Tone. Just bear with us for a sec. That's it. Okay, is there any noise there? Alright, There it is. There's some white noise. I can generate some white noise. Be interesting to see what you can hear over that. Hang on a sec. All right. Did you pick up anything out of that? VK3GL, VK3CSJ.
It was just noise.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Because I'm sure if I went like a shh. All right, doesn't matter. It was just an experiment. Yeah. Don't forget, we've had some very interesting experiences in this area because don't forget. You remember if we got the aircraft flying between Bunyip and here at a certain point, we'd get a very distinctive flutter on 21 megs. I thought that was really interesting. Really interesting. Anyway, that's another story. All right, mate, I'll leave you with it, and we'll catch up with you another time. Have a nice weekend, and hopefully Alison will enjoy her trip out in the Mustang. VK3GL, VK3CSJ.
Anyway, there's a quick story I'll tell you. We were in Spain. I went out one night for dinner, and we're in a little restaurant, and I said to the guy, he came out to us on the drink, and I said, have you got any bourbon in Coke, you know? Oh, yes, come on, what's the Coke? So he goes and gets it, bourbon, and comes back with it, like, glasses like that, and then he gets a Coke. And anyway, he said it to me. So I was thinking, okay, I thought it'd be already mixed. Anyway, I went and poured the Coke into the bloody glass, you know, to mix it. Anyway, so I let him do it. And he goes and gets that bottle and he brings it out and he's telling me how good his bourbon is. And he said, what I've done is I've picked the glass up and I've asked myself and I said, yeah, let's try that, you know, just to give it the smell of it, the straight bourbon. And he made the cleaners do it, so he comes running out with this bottle, trying to put the bourbon on. He's got a bloody horrified look on his face when he hears it like mixed it with Coke. Anyway, got back to the birthday clip, and I'm just about to knock off, so I better do that. I'm going to do a quick handover with my data, and then I can disappear. So have a wonderful night, be safe the rest of it. Yeah. That noise too, by the way, very quickly, that bright noise, I couldn't really tell much of it from the aural effect, but certainly on voice earlier I could hear it. So, I don't know, it just comes and goes a little bit. And that aeroplane in here that you were talking about, I don't know when you ever recall, we were talking on 15 metres, 20 metres, sorry, 15 and 10, I think it was, we did the test. When I was living in Derry, we had that same effect. That same effect between you and me, or only 4 kilometres or so apart. Alright. VK3GL.
Yep, no worries, Gray. VK3GL, VK3CSJ. Yes, look, there are some people that think that mixing drinks with Coke is just an abomination of an idea. So, I could not drink whiskey unless it had been with Coke. For me, whiskey and Coke and ice is a good combination. I'll accept that any day. But whiskey on its own, I don't know how people can take to it. It's blah. It really is blah. So Coke definitely has places, a place in mixing drinks. That's for sure. Ah dear. All right. And yes, it's amazing, isn't it? Just even the short distance, how the signal propagates off the ionosphere and aircraft so easily. It really is quite amazing stuff. Really is. All right, I shall finally shut down, and we'll catch up with you a little later, no doubt. This is VK3CSJ in Narrewarren South, concluding transmissions with Graham, VK3GL in Bunyip, and heading towards the Blue Room. VK3GL to take. What, the Blue Room? It's what? Yeah, but that's a few hours ago. So right now, I mean, I've had 2 cups of coffee and a glass of water. Yes, in any moment from now. Yeah, no worries, great. Yeah, look, I saw Richard tonight, VK3 VRS. Richard, he comes up alongside me, and he has his passenger side window down and yells through the door at me from a set of lights, and I looked and I thought, oh, there's Richard, and he's holding up a microphone, of course, and I'm thinking, sorry, I got no microphone in here, so yeah, I've got to try and do something about that. I've got 4 weeks off over Christmas, so if I don't get a radio in the car, then I might as well just give it away as a bad joke. But I'll try and do that very soon. All right, catch you later. See you, mate. Bye. VK3CSJ is clear and closing down on the ATV side of things with the official closing down file tape.